Hello again. It's November 13th, and we're in Belgrade, Serbia. How do you like this look? Why don't men wear capes anymore? It seems that our fashion has become so simplified. I'm from California, so that's exceptionally true. Or especially true, should I say. But I like the cape. I think the cape is a cool look. Especially in this kind of climate, where it's already pretty chilly out. It's about 7 degrees Celsius today. And we're gonna go on a little walk. So you see I'm right across the street from the National Theater. And we're gonna go down this way to where we can actually cross the street where we're supposed to. So I don't have a specific goal. I was actually considering going towards the water and maybe across the bridge, and or we'll go to the Capitol building, maybe St. Mark's Church, and maybe none of those places. That's the great thing about, you know, having no real plan and with no real agenda. See, those people have an agenda. They have to get places, and they're not happy about the fact that they're slowed down. Oh, there's a mask wearer. You still see that, but not so often. Happy day. Yes, it is. I actually like their products. Who doesn't like juice? Juice is great. I didn't realize how much sugar was in juice until you start to go, God, all I'm having is juice and I'm still getting fat. It's probably not the sugar that's natural in the fruit either. It's that extra shot that they like to give you just so you come back. Yeah, that's like McDonald's, I gotta say. So there's McDonald's in Serbia. It's been here, you know, probably since like the late 80s. And it's just like McDonald's everywhere I've been. I've had McDonald's in Germany. I've had McDonald's in Malaysia. I've had McDonald's in various states in America. Honestly, I think the best McDonald's I ever had was in Sandpoint, Idaho. But you know, McDonald's, when you eat that food, they have that figured out completely, because it checks all the boxes between sweet and savory, you know, sugar and salt, fat and cholesterol. They have it just figured out. Because, you know, you crave that. Every bite you're like, oh yeah, this is working for me. But then, you know, 45 minutes, an hour goes by, and you're like, ugh. Yeah, it works on the taste buds and psychology, but it does not work on the body well. So that's like a lie. Another thing you have to be wary of in this world: doing the right thing. This is a hard street to get across, and you'll see that even once it's our turn, drivers are very aggressive to. They want it to be their turn still. There we go. So yeah, we're gonna head this way, and then we're gonna go across the street, I think, and head towards the water. It's interesting, from where I am in Belgrade city center, almost every direction is the water. I mean, if I go behind me backwards, I can hit the water, and if I go forwards, I can hit the water, because of how the river bends. So we've been this way before. So as I'm making more and more of these videos, I'm becoming more and more comfortable in doing this. And at first I was super self-conscious of just this camera here. And I still am. I don't like to invade people's privacy, invade people's space. And honestly, I don't even know the law here. It's not like America has the First Amendment, which I've been watching a lot of these First Amendment auditing videos. Those guys are so brave, and they have such, a lot of them, they stay calm when I would be like, rawr. But I noticed that the UK, Canada, those places have similar rules about, you know, no expectation of privacy when you're in public. Gang of birds. So this is the beginning of Scardalia. We're just cutting through. Here is actually, if you go down these stairs, you can go underneath the street here. There's more retail space. There's actually a head shop there. The only one in Belgrade I know of. Probably a few more. So I am, like often, not exactly sure how to navigate myself there. I know approximately where I want to go. I think we're going to go up this way. So I've been thinking about topics to talk about. I think one of the things I think about a lot is pre-birth planning. Now that's something that honestly I had no knowledge of before just a few years ago. And what is that, you might say? Well, my mom was an expert astrologer, and she knew psychics. She knew Kenny Kingston. And I was around that my entire childhood. My father, on the other hand, he was an engineer. He worked for Columbia Pictures, and then later he worked for Warner Brothers, or the Burbank Studios actually. But my mom's influence was really strong. She was, like I say, an expert astrologer. Now, I never really learned a lot about astrology because it was just too easy to ask my mom. Mom, what's happening? What's going on in the world? What's going on in my life? And of course she would tell me. And, you know, I didn't really bother to learn. Not until recently, where I've taken it upon myself to learn a little more. Houses and that kind of thing. But all that being said, she had a very strong opinion about spirituality and, you know, all those things that we find to be unusual in the world, ghosts and such. And she was really against the idea of reincarnation. And so, of course, I believe that myself. I say, well, probably no reincarnation. You probably live once and you move on. But then one day, so my mom passed away in 2019, and about a year later, maybe a year and a half, I had this extremely strong urge. I mean, extremely strong urge. I can't even explain what this was like. And the urge was to go to my computer and to go to YouTube and to click on a specific link. And it had to do with pre-birth planning. Now, I had no idea about this concept really, but when I watched this video, I heard in my mind, and again, I can't even describe what this was like, but I heard, this is what's happening. And this was like my mom telling me, giving me the clue of what's going on. So what is that? It is that we chose our life. We knew beforehand what it is that we were going to experience. We got to choose our parents, all these things. Of course, I don't know the details of it. Who does? But again, this is something really interesting to contemplate. Is why on earth would I have picked this? I mean, we all struggle. Some people less than others. Some people can take it more than others. My life on paper looks really nice, I have to say. But I struggle through things. I struggle through understanding. I've experienced betrayal, and I've experienced severe loss, and all these things are difficult to reckon with. So why did I pick this up? So they say we still have free will. But yet certain things are going to happen. There are certain things that are pinned in your life. It seem like one way or another they're going to happen. But maybe based on your choices, your previous choices, is the severity of that thing happening. How severe is that going to be? How much of a lesson is needed? So, I'm talking about this now because I noticed that in my life, certain things, when they happen so easily. I mean, honestly, so easily, without much effort. Then again, other things I fight, and man, I really have to, put in lots of effort, and it just doesn't even feel like it's a one-on-one battle. It just feels like somehow you're up against the world on certain things. And yet, often I will, battle against that. And the outcome is actually negligible. It seems to me, the things that I battled the hardest, I didn't win. I actually expended a lot of energy, and I got knowledge, I got experience, but that's it. And I guess that's everything, really, right? Here on this planet, in this time, we equate positive stories, and we equate victory in the financial matters. If your finances are good, well, you're having a serious victory. And if they're bad, then you're not. You're somehow doing things wrong. And that's not true. It's a hard thing to have to remind yourself about, but it's absolutely not true. Oh, look at this kid with this plushie. Oh, how cute. Yeah, there needs to be more stories about positive things being said about lives that matter, that don't revolve around money. I think that would be a really important thing. So look what's happening down here. Those are those modular buildings. They're in the shape of a shipping container. That's like a half a container long. Which is 20 feet. 40 foot is a full-size container. Alright, so we're going to head across the bridge. See, I kind of went up and down some streets there that I didn't need to, really. It's because I didn't know exactly where I was going. So that's a giant print ad there. Okay, we're gonna walk this way just because I want to be on this side of the bridge, and we'll come back on the other side. Thought we were going with traffic. Is that smart or no? Anyways, back to what I was saying about certain things just working out. You know, when I was a kid, and I grew up in, honestly, the American dream lifestyle. My parents, they came from Europe. My dad's Austrian. My mom's Czech, German. And, you know, my dad, his village was taken by the Wehrmacht during World War II. And he was a young guy, and he was thrown into Hitler Youth, and they, you know, realized he was an expert machinist and inventor type. And he actually became an inventor for the German army. Later, he ended up as a communications officer in a tank. He was captured in France. But he survived. And after the war, you know, he carried on with what he liked and what he was good at, which was cameras and machining. And he moved his family, which was my mom and my sister, and he moved them to Canada. And later, he moved his family to Glendale, California, where he worked at Mitchell Camera. And the Mitchell BNC was the camera body he was like an expert on, which actually became the first Panavision camera. Panavision is a lens company, and they use the Mitchell B&C body. Anyways, so when I was a kid, I grew up around that. My mom and her astrology, and my dad in engineering in the movie industry. And I was always interested in audio, you know, records, cassettes. When I was a child, recording in general. And that technology was kind of ripe at the moment, at that time, in the 70s. Here, I think I'm actually on the bridge now. There's like a lookout. Go over here. Anyways, there was a lot of changes, like always, right? Technology is never ending. And the changes that were affecting my father's business, which was film cameras, was, you know, miniaturization at that time. The cameras he worked on, they were enormous. They were like the size of a small refrigerator. And then there was a lighting company that came out with a camera body. They were called Aeroflex. And I remember my dad saying, yeah, it's a piece of junk. In comparison, it was probably. But it had a technological leap forward of being smaller. So at the same time, video was progressing. Flubicon tubes started taking over, and 3-tube cameras became available. TV shows started using them. Let's see where I am here.